gazing blankly out over the pretty bay, brooding over my problems. I'm a woman in limbo, and here's the reason why. 6 months ago, my husband, Patrick, climbed into his silver Porsche, en route, he said, to buy me a birthday gift. As usual, he'd forgotten my birthday, but I guess someone must have reminded him. He was wearing dark glasses, and I couldn't read the expression in his eyes as he lifted his hand in a careless goodbye. He wasn't smiling, though, I do remember that. I haven't heard a word from him since. Nobody has. And nobody seems to care, though I went crazy trying to find him. Of course, the police tried to trace him. His picture as a missing person was posted everywhere, and they followed clues leading as far as Marseille and Las Vegas without any luck. Now the case is on the back burner, and Patrick is just another missing person. Missing husband is what they mean. It's not unknown around here, when the summer beaches are crowded with gorgeous girls and the yachts filled with rich women, for a husband to go missing. You might have thought Patrick's friends would know, but they swore they didn't, and anyhow they were always Patrick's friends, not mine. In fact, I hardly knew the guys he hung out with, or the women. I was far too busy working at making our little hotel perfect. And Patrick had no family. He'd told me he was the last of the Laforets who had lived and worked their fishing boats in Marseille for decades. Speaking of boats, I'm back to Jack Ferrar again. A small black sloop had drifted across my line of vision. Now, I don't like my cove to be disturbed by vacationers partying all night, with disco music pounding across the water and shrieks and screams as they push each other into the water. I took a long, hard look at the sloop. At least this wasn't one of those mega yachts. In fact, I didn't believe they would allow such small fry into the Saint-Tropez marina, even if its owner could have afforded it, which, from the look of his shabby boat, I doubted, and which was probably why he'd chosen to anchor in my protected little cove with a free view of my pretty little hotel instead. The black sloop cut across the horizon, sails slackening in the tiny breeze, then tacked into the cove, where, as I had guessed, it dropped anchor. I grabbed the telescope at the end of the terrace and got the boat in focus. The name Bad Dog was inscribed in brass letters on her bow. I moved over an inch and got a man in my sights. Muscular, broad in the shoulders, powerful chest tapering to narrow hips, and oh my God, he was totally naked. I knew I shouldn't, but okay, I admit it. I took a peek. Actually, a long look. What woman wouldn't? After all, he was just standing there, poised for a dive, almost flaunting his nakedness. And I want to tell you, the view was good. I'm talking about his face, of course, which was attractive in an odd sort of way. Actually, I thought he looked like his boat. Tough, workmanlike, rather battered. I watched the naked man make his dive, then cut cleanly out to sea in a powerful crawl, until all I could make out was a faint froth in his wake. From the corner of my eye, I caught a movement on the sloop. A young woman, all long legs and long blonde hair, and wearing only a bright red thong, was stretched out on a towel in the stern, catching the final rays. Not that she needed them. Like him, she was perfectly toasted. Spread her with butter and jam, I thought enviously, and she'd be perfect for his breakfast. The naked man was swimming back to the sloop, and I got him in my sights again. And that, you might say, was my big mistake. He climbed back onto the boat, shook himself like a wet dog in a cloud of rainbow-colored droplets, then flung out his arms and lifted his head to the sun. He stood for a moment, beautiful, hard-bodied, golden from the sun and the sea winds, a man at one with the elements. There was something so free about the gesture, it took my breath away. I followed as he padded aft, saw him reach for something, a pair of binoculars. And then he had me in his sights, caught in the act of peeking at him. For a long moment, our eyes met, linked by powerful lenses. His were blue,